Hi, my name is Robert Chelle Law, and my firm assists physicians with employment contract issues. One question that comes up occasionally is, are physicians independent contractors? And the answer to that is it depends on what kind of contract you sign. So really there's two types of contracts for physicians. You have employment agreements and then independent contractor agreements. And so as you know, with an employment agreement, you're an employee, and then they'll, the contract that you sign will kind of specify all the terms of, what the physician needs to do, what the employer needs to do. And then in an independent contractor agreement, many of those terms are the same, but there is kind of much less detail in an independent contractor agreement versus an employment agreement. And let's just briefly go through the two, and then we'll get back to when a physician is an independent contractor. So the main differences are, one, in an employment agreement, the physician is paid via W-2. And then the employer will pay for most of the things necessary to be a physician. So licensing, DEA registration, credentialing, privileging, practice insurance, any kind of the expenses associated with being a doctor. In an independent contractor agreement, you're not paid as a W-2 employee. You're paid via 1099, meaning the physician would have to take out the taxes when they file their returns. And then the vast majority of the time, the entity that is contracting with the independent contractor will not pay for the dues and fees and all the other expenses. So the physician will be the one that pays for the license, DEA, continuing medical education. There's also no benefits associated with an independent contractor agreement generally. So health, vision, dental, life, disability, retirement, all that kind of stuff simply won't be provided to the independent contractor. So obviously another question is, well, what's better for me, and what's the point of both? I find it's kind of very specialty dependent. Anesthesiologists, dermatologists, for whatever reason, have more independent contractor agreements than any other specialties. Honestly, the reason why some of these practices only utilize independent contractor agreements are so they can avoid paying employment taxes. These are essentially quasi-employment agreements. The physicians kind of act as employees. Their schedule is set for them. They're using the employer's facilities and supplies and staff. However, if a physician is an independent contractor, then generally what they would do is create an LLC, and then they would, run all of the payment through the LLC bank account. They would also be able to deduct the expenses, all the things that I went through before: licensing, CME, malpractice insurance, tail, all that kind of stuff as well. If I had to weigh one versus the other, well, usually if the physician does have the choice between the two, it would kind of depend upon the compensation structure of whether it would be worth it or not to accept an independent contractor agreement. If it's based purely on net collections, sometimes it is more lucrative to be an independent contractor. But if I had to give like a percentage of which way, a physician ultimately benefits more in the end, it's probably like 80-20 employment agreements, because all of the things that the independent contractor has to pay for, are provided by the employer, add up over time. And then another thing to think about is some, individual physicians simply can't get some of the things that like a larger employer can. It's difficult to get, individual health insurance for a family, and it's expensive. And then all the other things: vision, dental, life, disability, malpractice, tail insurance, that stuff adds up quickly. So anyway, if a physician is kind of debating between the two, I wish I could give a better answer besides it depends, but that's kind of an overview of whether physicians are independent contractors or not. Just depends upon what kind of contract they signed. If you have any questions, you can always contact my firm. You can give us a call at the number listed in the description below, or you can always reach us through our website at chellelaw.com. That's CHELLE law.com. And appreciate you watching the video, and take care.